So, good day, viewers. I'm Kurt Daniel Lobon, and I'm going to present my reflection for our subject, HDL, which is about future and applications of computer engineering based on our professor, Mr. Um, Ryan Evangelista's video. So, I would like to ask this question, which is, what was the video all about? Or specifically, what were the topics discussed within the video? So, the core topic of Dr. Ryan Evangelista's video was a smart city in the future of jobs in the Singaporean perspective. So, the core topic being Singapore as a model for smart nation development. So, to specify, I would like to how do I say this? I would like to tell all of you the vision and then the methods discussed within the video. So the vision being Singapore was presented as an advanced role model that uses technology to proactively create its desired future rather than reacting to trends. So meaning to say, Singapore is not a nation that follows the footsteps of others. Rather, they are the spearheads of the innovation that they want to see in their nation and in the foreseeable future to other countries as well. Their method being achieved through innovation, strategic planning, and digital actions or transformations to advance the economy, the lives of their citizens and their national development. So, what were the foundations or the backbone in which um, they did their methods in order to proactively um, implement their innovations and their inventions? So one of their foundational technologies were IoTs or Internet of Things. The definition being Internet of Things are interconnected objects, people, or machines um, connected via the internet. So meaning to say that they are the backbone of, let's say, smart cities, machines, data, and people. And then within the video, they also discussed the key components, which were comprised of three aspects. That being sensors, defined in the video as capture environmental data. Examples being motion from people or animals, gases, temperatures, etc. And then connectivity, meaning networks, Bluetooth, um, LoRa, Wi-Fi, sorts of network transmissions for data, and then processes in people, meaning the systems and the analytics that process the data into actionable insights and dashboards for decision making and rational discussions. So, IoT being its main characteristic for me, that it is event driven, and then it is very scalable since within the video there is also the concept of IoTs having this sense of variability towards, for example, interactions between machine and machine, people to machine, and then their integration into homes, businesses, then in transportation, let's say, in all aspects of modern society, and then the ability of IoTs to be aware of context since data is very much, how do I say this? Very much um independent towards the actions of, let's say, people, because the data of people changes with the times and with the trends. With that, this is also scalable and can be related to sharing of meaning, semantic sharing, and energy efficiency. Semantic sharing meaning that certain words can have um, global definitions based on the traffic of data. Let's say, for example, the definition of memes. So memes were earlier coined to be a disease of the mind by a psychologist, but now it is more like funny videos, funny internet trends, so on and so forth. So in that sense, IoTs can also have very broad control over the vocabulary of people, the data, and then the systems that we depend on. So in the video, it is also discussed the application of the application of IoTs, which I also skimmed over earlier, which were smart cities, managing city resources for sustainable development, which was also emphasized by Dr. Ryan Evangelista with Singapore's use of technology in their agriculture sector, then smart environment uh, related to what I mentioned before, smart energy for smart grids and energy sharing models, and then to optimize the usage of electricity, smart and precision agriculture, as I said earlier, smart aquaculture, where they employed technology to monitor water quality and fish health, improving the sustainability and yield from their aquatic sources, and also e-health, smart retail and logistics, which is very important for Singapore since they export a lot of goods from their country. So the use of smart technology IoT in their implementation of logistics for global trade is also a very smart move on their part, which is something that I think in our country should also be implemented. Industrial control and critical infrastructure, which is the monitoring and securing power plants, communication systems, ports and airports, smart homes, smart transportation, and then smart urban planning. So in that sense, let's proceed to what could be or what is the future, the trajectory of computer engineering. So for the trajectory of computer engineering, in my opinion, as seen in the image here, I think just like in the famous painting, um, we are more like God in that image, and then uh, technology being the humanity. So in this analogy, I could really say that since God was the thing that gave us nature and everything in the um, visible universe, um, as the, how do I say this, the progenitor or the creators of what we could actually define as a modern technology or technology itself, we are giving it life. And then through our innovations and then our inventions, technology itself improves just like how humanity improves, as long as we find and follow the words of God. So in that sense, uh, technology itself will continuously improve as long as humanity also strives to give it the elements, the the aspects that can improve its current current standing. So what could be the possible futures as computer engineers uh, with that thought in mind? So first that came into my mind since um, in the video it was discussed primarily about uh, towards businesses and agriculture is the manufacturing sector, since in the late 1800s and the industrial boom, humans were the were the primary workforce that how do I say this, that lifted off the the industrial era into the era that we have now, which is technology. So using the the idea of our the progenitor era, we can say that since technology itself does not tire, does not need to have food, and does not require physical rest like humans, it it is more likely that computer engineers will be more focused on this aspect, since using robotics, technology, and IoTs in manufacturing, just like in the video where it was discussed that retail logistics was also used as a main factor for how do I say this, for the management, for the execution of their retail and logistics sector. Why don't we also use this knowledge into manufacturing? As seen in the image, um, the technology around manufacturing is um, very well documented with the inclusion of certain shows such as how it's made, shows like that. So in those episodes, you can see that the use of machinery is very well implemented and integrated into manufacturing. So why don't we also develop, as computer engineers, more advanced machinery in order to help us with those manufacturing cars, clothes, jewelry, etc., etc. As long as far as technology can lead us, the implementation will never end. So next, we have cybersecurity. So for cybersecurity, um, to use another comparison of time, in in the past, the things that we had to worry about being stolen were our physical items such as bags, purses, wallets. But now we also have to have our concerns towards our um, digital footprints, our digital messages, our Wi-Fi, since these things are interconnected. If there are, for example, listening tools, bugs within these connections, our data can be stolen, since the traffic in the for our data share the same, how do I say this, pathways. So in that sense, I'm very confident that computer engineers will also be very focused on this um, aspect of society going forward, since um, we can also observe in our current lives right now with the use of, in the Philippines, GCash, and other countries PayPal, and not to mention banks also use technology in order to verify the authenticity of your purchases. For example, just to share also, the banks in Singapore, I think, used a four-prong system where um four banks would simultaneously send signals to each other to see if all four signals will send the same password or something like that. And then if one of them were to have one slight difference, the transaction within the whole bank would not be successful. So um the transferring of, for example, in that explanation, money, and to apply that to other things is very very important, since the thieves of the current generation are not limited to the streets anymore. They lie on the internet, the websites, the links. They lie everywhere in your social media platforms, with the use of social engineering to exploit gullible users. So in that sense, no, I think computer engineers will be very much focused on this aspect of the industry, which is cybersecurity. And then next is entertainment. So I think computer engineers will be much more compared to the others, not as much, but um, also be absorbed into the realm or industry of entertainment, since um, technology has given us the way for globalism to be much more easier with the use of the internet, computer devices such as PCs, laptops, and then cell phones. I can imagine that in many aspects of computer engineering, such as robotics, programming, um, other things such as toy making, which is also have been implemented a lot of times in earlier years, from what I remember, because in my experience, I had a toy which was Spy Gear, which was a Spy Gear brand, and one of my toys was a telescope. Was a telescope. Ah, binocular. Was a binocular, and within that binocular, no, there was a small kind of chip within it that uh, it, how do I say this? That recorded the voices of whatever was around the vicinity, and then it had a playback feature of what you recorded 5 seconds ago. So in that sense, no, I think computer engineers can really impact the entertainment industry, which I have also experienced in the past when I was just a child. But now we also experience that in other things, like YouTube, with the improvements of their um how do I say this? Their ability to traffic our content. TikTok, with the abysmal amount of traffic there, that views begin to become um how do I say this? Overly um like something overly like something to, like it's something abnormally observed, because For example, a simple trend in TikTok can lead to a bunch of can lead to already a million views compared to when you post it on Facebook. The traffic there isn't as abundant, let's say, or as uh, you know, let's just say TikTok is something that's anomalous in my opinion. But um, to point to another example, let's say Facebook with the use of their ads, no, uh, you'll imagine that you just watched a simple video and then all of a sudden nandun na sila sa Facebook, things like that. So the people using those apps and softwares never get bored. So it's not a bad thing. So I think in the near future, even now, in that computer engineers will be engrossed in the entertainment industry. The next here um, is the aiding or I call aiding automation something sector of the industry. It's very broad because as seen in the image here, this is the robot dog from Boston Dynamics, and it's specifically designed to be very versatile since the rear the spinal of not the spine but the back of this dog is um let's say folds up it folds up, and then you can add anything to it if you want. In the advertisement of this product, they used it in construction, where the dog slipped into smaller crevices, and then the dog could also um, carry large loads onto their back. And then with the use of the unfolding back, their vision extends over certain terrain. If people could not reach it, uh, he's responsible for that. So in that sense, no, um, we can have this sort of amalgamation of automation to robotics to enhance daily life. Because, for example, this dog can also be used as your personal dog at home. No, there's no problem with that. So computer engineers can be engrossed into a lot of industries apart from the things that I said before. It's so broad that I just use this image as like a summary of the things that we can do, because I think in this image we can see that um the entertainment aspect here, since it's designed as a dog, and the familiarity of it, and its practicality with the design. It's not how do I say this? It's not unpleasing to the eye, and then you can also customize it. So in that sense, no, computer engineers can be engrossed into a lot of industries. For example, this dog also compromises of embedded chips. So in that sense, in the manufacturing of this dog, there has to be some kind of design aspect. So computer engineers can be put into computer drafting for designing the dog. And then apart from that, we can also design within um, websites and software, since computer engineers aren't always limited to the back to the back end. So we can also design for websites, for the designs of this dog, for other technologies as well, for for consoles, for handhelds, for cell phones. So, in that sense, computer engineers are very versatile in the industry as long as you have the expertise and confidence to do so. So, how do you see yourself in the field of computer engineering? So, for me, um, my strengths and weaknesses are first, my strengths. I think I am a logical thinker, and I think I am a confident speaker, confident in myself, and bringing that to the table. I see myself as a overall problem solver, and I'm confident enough that I see myself excelling in the field of computer engineering, since even today as a third year student, um, um, how do I say this? I I think I have the elements of what makes a competent computer engineer, but not necessarily the best as of now, since I do not have the proper work experience. I just know the basics and then the foundations and then some advanced level, but not the same as the professionals in the industry currently. But I think given the time, I'm very confident that I can stand tall with among in the future among other computer engineers to produce projects, manufacture, design, in coding. So in that sense, as of now, I think I'm a competent computer engineer after graduation. But in the future, I think that I will be a great computer engineer. If not, uh, let's see. But I have confidence in myself that I will be a computer engineer in the future. So the area I want to pursue in the future is two industries, which is um, firstly cybersecurity, and then the second is a combination of medicine and robotics, concluding to um, medical robotics. Uh, Anything related to how do I say this? Technologies used in hospitals. Since for me, cybersecurity is one of the things I want to protect my family from, since there will be a lot of hackers in the near future, and my family aren't as computer literate as the current generation. So I want to make sure that um, the technological environment for them will not be toxic and filled with thieves and scammers. So that's one of the industries that I want to pursue. And the second being the hardest, but I think it is one of the most fulfilling careers if I ever have the chance of um, pursuing pursuing and partaking in it professionally, which is medical technology, creating medical technology or medical robotics. Since for me, I think that um, technology has the power to really help others in terms of their health, not just mentally, but also for actual procedures such as surgery, but not, but maybe not for the critical surgeries as of now. But I want to aid in improving the technology in our hospitals to eventually reach that point where um, technology can aid us in saving the lives of others, since people can only do so much, not in the sense of their skills, but they're also people too, and they also get sick. Doctors also get sick. They have to take care of themselves. They also have families to take care of, families to also spend time with. We can't we can't always depend on them just because they are very in demand. So in order to help others, not just within the medical industry, we need to also help those within, because if they're exhausted, 'di ba? Sino tutulong sa atin? So in that sense, that's one of my biggest dreams, is to be part of that industry, which is medical robotics or medical technology. As seen in the video here, no? Video in the picture. Yan, yung mga ganyang technologies, right? Pero not not that simple, but you can get my point that um as long as this is something that aids in the ailments, illnesses, or debilitations of people, I want to aid in that using technology. And this here is one of the examples of what I was saying before, which was the use of technology for actual procedural surgery. So yeah, technology has really, in this medical field, has really taken off, but it's not reliable yet, since this kind of real testing puts a lot of, how do I say this, pressure on the creators of the machine, since even though it's just a machine, the creator will always be held accountable. So that's that's something that I think for myself, I'm ready to, I'm confident that I can take, no, the responsibility that heavy. Yeah. So kaya gusto ko mapunta sa medical robotics, is because of that. But not just because of the confidence, but I also think that I have the brains to do so, and the competence to do so. Uh, to end our presentation, what are my key takeaways for future jobs? So my key takeaway for future jobs is, of course, good problem solving skills. Um, because I think computer engineers aren't going to be hired if they're not good at problem solving. And then next being a sociable person, since um, a lot of computer, a lot of my, do I say this? A lot of my classmates now are very shy in terms of uh, approaching others. So I think the aspects that you really need to improve as a computer engineer is being so very sociable, since you're not going to do your projects all by yourself. Sure, you can do your school projects all by yourself, but in terms of within the industry, you really need to have a good team mindset in order to complete tasks, and um and just bond with others, so that you know your job isn't just a job. It's also fun and fulfilling, ganon. So being sociable is the second. Third, being very competent with your skills, especially the basics. For example, programming, circuit analysis. Uh, for me, one of my biggest weaknesses is I'm very bad at math. So, isa din yun, no? You need to be good at calculations since engineering is a very technical job. You can't do things without the proper calculations and measurements. So, yan. So, thank you for listening to my presentation. And I hope all of you viewers have a good day. Thank you.